Hey there, fellow readers. Welcome to Nexa Manhwa, your ultimate gateway to the wildest worlds of manhwa, manga, and anime.
You know that feeling? When a story just grabs you, pulls you right in, everything else just kind of fades.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm talking about those really deep, complex narratives where you feel like you're actually there.
Yeah.
That's what we're exploring today, Tower of God.
Yeah, and this isn't just any story. It's a real cornerstone in the Webtoon world. From South Korea, originally Kamino 2, it's always part of the conversation when you talk about the greats of the medium.
The numbers alone are just staggering. Was it 4.5 billion views by early 2020?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And over 1 billion of those just in English. That's huge.
It's more than huge. It's like a phenomenon. It really helped launch Webtoons onto the global stage, wouldn't you say?
It absolutely did, which is why we wanted to do this deep dive. We really want to figure out, why this specific manhwa, that's the Korean term for comics for anyone unfamiliar, why it resonated so deeply.
Right. What makes it stand out even compared to other massive hits like, say, Solo Leveling or Noblesse? Why is it considered one of the big three?
Okay, so let's get into it. The story, at its heart, is this mystery wrapped in a big fantasy adventure. We're following this kid, 25th of BAM, as he goes into this, it's enormous magical tower, chasing after his friend, Rachel.
But it's not just climbing stairs, is it? It's like this labyrinthine quest. Twists, turns, revelations that make you rethink everything.
Exactly. And the sheer size of it. Over 528 episodes, last I checked, split into 3 main parts with all these overlapping arcs. It's a commitment.
Definitely a commitment. But it pays off, right? Because it manages to be really fast-paced and engaging, but also deep, thematically rich.
It does. You get hooked by the action, but then it starts asking these big questions. I saw one reviewer put it perfectly. What should you value? How far is it okay to go to obtain it? That's heavy stuff for an adventure story.
Yeah, much more than just leveling up. And each floor of the tower, it introduces completely new challenges, new mysteries, keeps you guessing.
Keeps it fresh, exactly. You never quite know what's coming next. And the way they slowly reveal these secrets, these hidden organizations pulling strings, it feels really earned when you get those payoffs.
It's definitely not just a simple ascension story. You've got themes of friendship, ambition, identity, but also tackling bigger ideas. Sacrifice, loyalty, power structures, all within this fantasy world.
And it feels so planned out. You see things mentioned early on, little details that become super important hundreds of chapters later. It's clear there was a long-term vision.
Like that summary said, every episode is part of an intricate storyline that requires you to read the series from the start. You can't just jump in.
Right, and that complexity, that layering really sets it apart from something like maybe Solo Leveling, which is more focused on that awesome dungeon crawling power fantasy. Tower of God is aiming for something more epic.
Which brings us to the characters. Because it's not just Pam. The cast is huge, diverse, and they really change over time.
Oh, absolutely. You've got Bam, his allies, rivals, mentors, and they all feel like real people,
Right.
with their own goals, their own flaws.
And they grow. That's crucial. Like Kuniguero Agnes. Starts off so cold, so calculated.
Such a strategist.
Right. But he becomes this huge fan favorite because you see his loyalty develop, his ingenuity is just off the charts.
Or Wraithrazor, the big crocodile guy.
Yeah. Starts off so fierce and impulse, almost purely driven by instinct.
But his friendship with Bam changes him. He becomes more controlled, more compassionate even. You see it in his design too. He physically looks less like just this hulking armor.
That's a great point. And it feels like almost no one stays static. They learn, they adapt, they influence each other. Even side characters get meaningful arcs, which is pretty rare for such a long series.
And the diversity is amazing. Different species like Princess Anna.
Our lizard, yeah.
Different backgrounds, princes, rebels, mercenaries, all these different cultures within the tower clashing and cooperating.
And that mix of motivations, the alliances, the betrayals, the rivalries, just fuels the drama constantly. Especially that core relationship between Bam and Rachel. So complex, so emotionally heavy.
It really anchors the whole thing. And again, comparing it, Solo Leveling focuses so intensely on Jinwoo, which is great, but the supporting cast in Tower of God feels much more fleshed out, much more integral to the plot over the long haul.
Okay, so amazing story, fantastic characters, but the world itself, the tower, it feels like a character in its own right.
It really does. This immense vertical world. Each floor isn't just a level, it's like its own self-contained society with unique dangers, unique rules.
Yeah, like the second floor with the 3 waterfalls, that floating world feel, or the 4th floor, the train world, just wildly imaginative settings.
Totally. I read someone calling the world building a hallmark of its storytelling, and that feels spot on. It's so intricate, so immersive. You don't see that level of detail everywhere.
And the lore is just dense. You've got the 10 great families, these almost godlike figures, the Zahard princesses, the politics between them.
And the magical items, the 13-month series weapons, each with its own backstory. And of course, Shinsu.
Right, Shinsu, the divine water. It's not just hand-wavy magic. They actually explain how it works, how you manipulate it for attacks, defense, enhancing strength.
With the bangs, miyuns, tsus. Yeah, it's a complex system, and mastering it is key to climbing the tower.
But then you have Bam, who just seems to do it naturally, which is another layer of the mystery surrounding him.
Exactly. It makes the world feel like this living ecosystem. Politics, hidden kingdoms like Zahard's, hints of a world outside the tower. It keeps you wondering.
No wonder fans are so drawn to it. Sportskeeda mentioned that unique world building as a major draw.
Definitely. And the scale. Noblesse has its cool vampire world, Solo Leveling has modern cities mixed with dungeons, but Tower of God's vertical universe, the sheer mystery of it, feels so much bigger somehow.
And we have to talk about the art, SIU style. It's full color, designed for that vertical scroll.
Which lets them do some really dramatic reveals and panel layouts.
For sure. And it's evolved so much, hasn't it? Early on, it was rougher, more sketch-like.
Yeah, definitely had a roar feel. But over time, the line work got cleaner, the colors became way more sophisticated. It's been amazing watching that progression.
The colors are so vibrant now, and the lighting really sets the mood. Like that review said, each panel transports the reader to the tower. It really does.
And those big moments, the fights, the Shinsu effects, they have this almost cinematic quality, really impactful.
And even with the evolution, it's consistent. Characters age, they change, but they're always recognizable. Bam's design journey is a great example.
It is. It's a smooth progression, not like some webtoons where the art style suddenly shifts jarringly, and the fans clearly love it. What was that rating on Webtoon? 9.9 out of 10.
It's astonishing, right? That's crazy high.
It shows how well the art connects, and it's not just pretty pictures, it serves the story. Those big splash pages during key fights really ramp up the tension and emotion.
So all of this story, characters, world, art, it explains the massive reception, right? Those 4.5 billion views weren't an accident.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And the dedicated fan base on Webtoon. 3.1 million subscribers at one point. It basically was the flagship global title for Naver Webtoon for a long time.
And the community is still super active. Forums, Reddit, social media.
Yeah.
Constantly buzzing with theories, fan art, cosplay.
Yeah, the engagement is intense. And then the anime in 2020, the Crunchyroll original, just blew it up even further.
Right. Huge number of ratings on Crunchyroll, really positive reviews overall, significantly more engagement than some other Webtoon adaptations around that time, like Noblesse or God of High School.
It definitely stood out. And yeah, Solo Leveling's anime is huge now, but Tower of God built its fan base over a decade. It has real longevity.
It's got that cult classic vibe, but on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Always popping up in best manhwa lists. Someone suggested it's easily top 5 most popular webtoons ever, just purely on readership.
I wouldn't disagree. And it's not just fans. Critics have recognized it too. Awards early on in Korea.
Right. The Comics and Animation Association Award, the Dem Cultural Contents Award.
And being one of the first to get an official English translation back in 2014, that was huge for bringing it to the West.
Absolutely. And the anime got nominated for Crunchyroll Anime Awards, won some at Anime Trending. Even with some critiques about pacing, getting that level of recognition as an early webtoon adaptation was a big deal.
A very big deal. Reviewers consistently praise the plot, the world building. You see words like captivating, masterfully written. It's clear both fans and critics put it near the top.
And his impact goes beyond just being a popular story. It really helped prove that webtoons could be massive internationally.
Totally. It paved the way for more translations, more adaptations. Getting that Crunchyroll original deal was a signal to the industry. It helped bridge that gap between Korean webtoons and global anime fans.
And the fandom showed the potential for these digital comics to become huge multimedia franchises. The mobile RPG was massively successful, wasn't it?
Yeah, 120 million players or something crazy soon after launch. And now it's getting physical print releases in English. That shows lasting power.
SIU himself talked about the foreign demand. And culturally, the fan communities, the art, the cosplay, the discussions, It all raised the profile of webtoons globally.
It even influenced other creators. Some newer webtoons borrow ideas from Tower of God's world, which is part of that bigger Tulsi user universe SIU created. It really showed Korean comics could hit the world stage, become anime hits, inspire others. Like that article said, its success paved.
So when you put it side by side with other giants like Solo Leveling or Noblesse, you really see its unique strengths.
Yeah, Solo Leveling is amazing for that power fantasy rush, super popular anime. But Tower of God's plot is just way more complex, more focused on mystery, politics, slower reveals. Both have power progression, but they feel very different.
And Noblesse, a classic, huge early hit, great humor. But Tower of God feels bigger in scope, more modern in its art and pacing maybe. They'll both explore friendship, loyalty, betrayal really well. That Bam-Rachel dynamic has echoes of Noblesse.
For sure. But Tower's world feels grander. And compared to other greats like God of High School or Hardcore Leveling Warrior, many fans feel Tower of God just has more narrative depth, more ambition. That vertical tower structure itself is so iconic.
So maybe Solo Leveling wins on current buzz, Noblesse has the classic status, but Tower of God, it hits that sweet spot. Near mythic fan status, critical respect, and that incredibly deep world.
Well put. So yeah, wrapping it up, Tower of God has absolutely earned its place as one of the all-time greats manhwa. The story is compelling, the characters are rich and evolving, the world is stunningly original.
The art style that grew with the series, the incredible fan response, the critical acclaim, the huge cultural impact, it ticks all the boxes.
It really does. That mix of epic scope and detailed craft makes it a true standout. It belongs in that top tier, no question. Its legacy feels really secure.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. As you think about this incredibly layered world, these characters driven by such complex ambitions and loyalties, maybe consider how that reflects, the complexities in our own lives, our own goals and relationships. And hey, if you haven't read it, maybe now's the time to start climbing the tower yourself. There's a lot to discover.